Injury prevention is not about corrective exercise. Hey, I'm Sarah from mostmotion, and I'm here with another video for every sports and fitness coach who is trying to save time and effort with injury prevention. So, unless you want to go down the road of injury treatment, just the notion of corrective exercise can drag you down the wrong road. And here's why. As a fitness coach, it is not your job to fix. Okay, your job is a facilitator. What do I mean by that? Well, fixing is basically the idea that there is a problem and that you have all of the answers. So when you think like that, we are essentially telling nature that we know what to do. We know better. Our little human brains and our little human logic knows better than nature. And sometimes what we think is correct can actually be more of a problem because we're focusing on the detail of what that specific problem entails. But when we look at it from a facilitating point of view, we look at what nature's already doing and we make it easier for nature to do its thing, okay? Because nature, if we pick a battle with nature, we are never, ever going to win, okay? So what might seem like it's helping right now, if we are trying to fix the problem, nature will always come back at us later with a different problem. So we need to work with nature and what's happening with human beings to make trying to prevent injuries save you time and effort. So what do I mean? Well, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Let's think of a specific example. Let's use the shoulder as an example because you can see it. So if your client has a problem with the shoulder, maybe they've got the shoulder going forwards like this. When we think about fixing that problem, we look at the shoulder itself, okay? And that can often mean things like we will focus on the back of the body, we'll try and strengthen it, we'll do all sorts of resistance band exercises, that kind of thing, to try and help with the strength and the balance and all that kind of stuff around that joint, which is fine. But when we do that, if we don't look at the problem as a whole, if we don't look at how we can facilitate nature in this problem, then we dive straight into something that is actually more effort. So if your client has their shoulder rolled forwards and we focus straight in on strengthening the back of the body, essentially what we're asking to do, the muscles to do is fight against this tightness that's already here, okay? That's going to create more tired, more fatigue in the back of the body, and essentially that over time is going to create more strain, it's going to create more fatigue, and it's going to eventually lead to pain. So human beings are what's the word? Mental block. Oh no. We are governed, that's the word. We are governed by laws of nature. One of those laws of nature is the conservation of energy. So your body, your client's bodies will find the easiest way to do anything. And that means they're always looking for the easiest way to do stuff. So if your approach, if your fixing approach is creating more strain and more effort, then your brain is pre-programmed to avoid it. So why would you make the body do something that it's already pre-programmed to avoid? And in the same way, the brain is trying to coordinate 50 trillion cells in your client's bodies. So if you're focusing on one area and a few muscles and a few nerves and connective tissue and all that kind of stuff in one particular area, that's not allowing the brain to do its thing and coordinate that joint with the rest of the body. It's not facilitating nature, it's trying to fix nature, and that is not helpful in the long run, okay? In the big scheme of things, it's not going to be very helpful. And if we add to that, the driving force for a lot of these problems might not actually be physical, okay? We cannot separate emotion and physical, okay? If we have emotional stress, it comes out in our body language, it comes out in our behaviors, it comes out in how we say things. You know, you might be feeling particularly stressed and somebody asks you a question and you just snap back at them. You don't even know you've done it, but they're like, whoa, okay, I'll leave you alone. And that is just a physical representation of the emotional stress that your clients are feeling. So if we don't deal with these things that are stopping the body from moving forwards and being better at moving and all those things that we're trying to achieve, if we don't look at the ways that nature is trying to deal with it and all of the ways that nature is trying to deal with it, then we end up trying to fix it. And that's not helpful in the long run. So if we're looking at trying to help with the emotional side of things, it does not mean that as fitness coaches we have to dive into counseling and all that kind of stuff. We don't want to, make our clients feel uncomfortable, but we can use the signs and the clues that their bodies are giving us when we read their body language. So we can look at their postures and the behaviors and all those things that will give us clues as to where these issues might be coming from. Then we can work forwards from there, and we can remove barriers as well. And that could just be as simple as not focusing on their problems. When we look at fixing something, we stop coaching and we start focusing on the problem area. Your client comes to you, they want to do a weights workout, and they have to put all the weights down and pick up a resistance band and start fiddling about with the shoulder that they actually feels quite sore. They might not be that helpful. It might not be that helpful to them. It might not feel like that's what they want to be doing. But if we can combine what they need to be doing, what we perceive as being the issue on a physical level, and we can add it to, this isn't a case of either or, we have to add it to what makes nature easier. So we have to help nature, and we can layer that on when we know what to look for. So that's exactly what the Smart Coach Level 1 training is all about. It's called the Vault of Injury Prevention Secrets. We look at ways that you can actually see potential injury problems before they become painful, before your clients can tell you about it, so that you know exactly where to focus your efforts to make the whole process faster, more effective, and much, much easier for everybody involved. So there's a link below, I think it is, in the description, somewhere around here. If you want to check that out, go and grab the link there, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.